More and more research from the federal government is showing the effectiveness of remote work. The Bureau of Labor Statistics found a strong link between remote work and total factor productivity growth across 61 industries. The gains held true even after adjusting for pre-pandemic productivity trends, and that fit well with the report from the Government Accountability Office that also launched the logic behind RTO mandates, talking about the better productivity of remote work and the competitiveness caused by remote work. So we have we have the Government Accountability Office, which is part of Congress. We have the BLS, which is part of the Labor Department, so the federal administration, both showing clearly the benefits of remote work. Let's talk about the Bureau of Labor Statistics. It showed that remote work jumped from 6.5% in 2019 to over 39% for certain industries by 2021. And four major sectors saw over 30-point gains in remote workers. Computer data and publishing sectors reached up to 62.5% remote workers. By 2022, key industries still had over 46% of their workers remote. 44 out of 61 industries had over 10% remote participation in 2021. That meant the shift became widespread and sustained beyond the immediate pandemic peak. What did the Bureau of Labor Statistics find specifically on productivity? So it's about participation. What about productivity? What they found was that a 1% rise in remote work for an industry led to a 0.08, 0.09% total factor productivity growth. So that means about an 8 to 9% improvement in total factor productivity per 1% growth. Industries with more remote work showed greater total factor productivity gains. For example, funds management, finance, wealth management saw 10% total factor productivity boost during the pandemic. Tech and data sectors achieved faster output with less labor, which is what total factor productivity is all about. High remote sectors consistently outperformed low remote sectors. Cost savings are the key. They drove efficiency gains in remote-first companies. Businesses cut rent, energy, and office maintenance expenses. Remote work led to over 20% office cost savings in some sectors. And they would have led to more but they were committed to long-term leases. Of course, they can let go of those leases over time as remote work becomes more available over time. Every 1% increase in remote work cut unit office costs by 0.4%. So that's great. So again, that means a pretty high gain in cutting costs for remote work. So if you go from 0% to 100% remote work, that would be a high cost reduction in unit office costs. Employee turnover dropped, reducing hiring and training costs. Capital, energy, and material costs declined in remote heavy sectors. But the thing is, it didn't translate into direct higher pay for wages. There was no significant link between remote work and hourly wages in the sectors. Businesses kept most of the financial gains from this higher productivity. Workers saved time and money by skipping daily commutes, so they got indirect benefits of flexibility and improved satisfaction. Their gains, in other words, were cost of living savings, key non-monetary benefits for employees, or monetary benefits that didn't come directly from their employer. The future, thus, really depends on how remote work is managed. Remote work proved essential for business resilience during the pandemic. The productivity revolution was real, not just a temporary adaptation, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Attempts to reverse remote work would undermine competitiveness, therefore. Policymakers and companies must weigh the data, not nostalgia. Long-term value depends on optimizing remote work effectively for the future. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Wise Decision Makers Show. Please leave a review for the show. That helps us improve the show, and it helps others discover the show. And subscribe to the show wherever you checked it out. And if you have any questions, please email me at gleb, Gleb, @disasteravoidanceexperts.com.